Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. So we will just sing some kirtan. I'm just opening up. So Dasraj, while I open it, Dasraj Prabhu, how do you think was today's morning class? Got a little intensive. Got a little intense.
Excellent Prabhuji. Very nice. I mean, you gave a different perspective of Karna and Pandavas. I think that is very important for people to understand and not get misled by this serials and movies made to glorify these people.
Yes, Prabhuji. It's a little sensitive topic, and I knew that it will take time.
But that is required, Prabhuji. I think people definitely should understand. Unfortunately, our minds are polluted for so many decades now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
In fact, the worst part, I've just finished Bhishma Parvam and Shanti Parvam in Mahabharata. I was reading and listening to Chaganti Koteshwaragar's speeches.
Yeah.
The worst part, which I felt very bad, in fact, is that Karna took a oath that he will not enter the battlefield till Bhishma dies.
Yeah.
So that is, look at his, probably his mentality and thinking capacity.
Very unfortunate. And these people are praised in movies.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there are value education classes given with Karna as an example.
Exactly. That's very unfortunate.
Hare Krishna. I'm just opening some files, Prabhuji, as we speak.
Sure.
Yeah. But thank you for attending, Prabhu. Morning. It was so nice to see you.
Prabhu, please, we are fortunate to attend.
Oh, no. I'm fortunate to have your association, Prabhu. Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now. We will sing nice Krishna bhajan, and I'm just trying to repeat the same bhajan for a few weeks, so you all get used to it, right? So then you can start singing in your house. So far we have sung Vrindavana Ramya Sthana, Radha Krishna Prana Mora, Yugala Kishore. We have sung many times, and we also sung Bhajahure Mana, Srinandanandana. And sometimes we also, sang Vibhavari Sesha. So I'm going to sing Vibhavari Sesha again today. What I want all of you to do is, sing these bhajans in your, in front of your deities once in a while. So you get used to singing these bhajans. You can find them and print them. I'll also send the screenshot in the mobile, so you can print that as well. Right? Is that okay, Prajan Matajis? Yeah. So Hare Krishna. So let us sing this. Does anyone want to sing the bhajan? Hare Krishna. Does anyone want to sing, or do you want me to sing and I'll repeat it?
Repeat it, Prabhuji.
Okay. So then let's try repeating in the call. You can unmute yourself and all of you sing after me. Okay. Vibhavari Sesha Aloka Pravesha Nidrachari Utho Jiva
Vibhavari Sesha Aloka Pravesha Nidrachari
Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagreva.
Bolo
Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva.
Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Ram Krishna Hayagreва.
Bolo Hari Hari Govinda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva.
Narsimha Vamana Shri Madhusudhana Brajendra Nandana Shama.
Narsimha Vamana Sri Madhusudana Brajendra Nandana Shama.
Putana Ghatana Kaitaba Satana Jaya Dasharati Rama.
Putana Gathana Kaitaba Satana Jaya Dasharadhi Rama.
Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandhara.
Yashoda Durala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara.
Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bara.
Gopi Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bhara.
Ravana Takara Makhana Taskara Gopi Jana Vastrahari.
Ravana Takara Makana Taskara Gopi Jana Vastrahari.
Brajera Rakhala Gopa Vrindapala Chittahari Bhamsidhari.
Brajera Rakhala Gopa Vrindapala Sita Hari Bamsidari.
Yogindra Bandhana Sri Nandanandana Brajajana Bhayahari.
Yogendra Bandhana Srinandanandana Brajajana Bayahari.
Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohana Vamsi Bihari.
Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohana Vamsi Bihari.
Yashodanandana Kamsani Sudhana Nikunja Rasa Vilasi.
Yashodanandana Kamsani Sundana Nikunjarasa Vilasi.
Kadamba Kanana Rasa Parayana Vrindavipina Nivasi.
Kadamba Kanana Rasa Parayana Vrindavipina Nivasi.
Anandavardhana Premanikehtana Kulashara Jojakama.
Anandavardhana Premaniketana Pula Sarjo Jake Kama.
Gopaghana Ghana Chitta Vinodhana Samasta Gunagana Dhama.
Gopadhana Gana Sita Vinodana Samasta Gunagana Dama.
Jamuna Jivana Keli Parayana Manasa Chandra Chakora.
Jamuna Jivana Keli Parayana Manasa Chandra Chakora.
Nama Sudharasa Rao Krishna Jasa Rako Vachana Manamora.
Namasudarasa Gavo Krishna Jasa Rako Vachana Manamora.
नाम सुधारस गाओ कृष्णा जस राखो वचन मन मोरा
नाम सुदारस गावो कृष्णा जसा राखो वचन मन मोरा
विभवारी शेषा आलोक प्रवेश निद्राचारी उठ जीवा
विवारितेशा आलोक प्रवेश निद्राचारी उठो जीवा
बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण हाय ग्रीवा
बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण हरे
हाय
ग्रीवा
ग्रीवा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody,
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna, Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna.
कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radhe.
राधा मदन मोहन राधे
Jaya Radha Gopi Vallabha Radhe.
जय राधा गोपी वल्लभ राधे
Jayo Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
जय प्रभुपदा Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada.
Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Jaya Gurudeva.
Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna ki Jai.
Jai,
Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai.
Jai,
Jai Shri Govardhan Dham ki Jai.
Jai,
Jai Shri Mathura Dham ki Jai.
Jai,
All assembled devotees ki Jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaura Hari Premanande.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dasaraj Prabhu, can you ask your sons to sing today's Narshing Arti?
Sure, Prabhu.
Since they are there, I would like to hear from them.
Sure, Prabhu.
When they sing, I feel like Prahalad is singing and I am Hiranyakashipu listening.
The honor, Prabhu. Definitely.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Okay, so yeah. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuro Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayan Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You can unmute yourself and repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudhirayet
Tato Jayamudhirayet.
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttamashloke
Bhagavate Uttamaśloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya cha.
Devaki Nandanaya cha
Namah Pankajanabhaya.
Namah Pankajanabhaya
Namah Pankajamaline.
Namah Pankajamalini
Namah Pankajanetraya.
Namah Pankajanetraya
Namaste Pankajangre.
Namaste Pankajangre
Namo Mahavadanyaya.
Namo Mahavadanyaya
Krishna Prema Pradayate.
Krishna Prema Pradayate
Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya.
Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya
Namine Gauratvise Namaha.
Namini Gauratrishe Namaha
Namo Brahmanyaya Devaya.
Namo Brahmanyaya Devaya
Go Brahmana Hitaya cha.
Go Brahmanahitaya cha
Jagadhitaya Krishnaya.
Jagadhitaya Krishnaya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha
Nama Vishnupadaya.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale.
Krishna Prithaya Bhutale
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta.
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta
Swami Niti Namine.
Swami Niti Namini
Namaste Saraswat Deve.
Namaste Saraswati Deve
Gauravani Pracharine.
Gauravani Pracharini
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi
Pastyatya Deshatarine.
Pasyatya Deshatarine
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for singing the prayers with me. Ukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripah tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Om pavitro pavitro va sarvavastham gatopi va yat smaret pundarikaksha sabhyabhyantaram suche. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Hare Krishna. So thank you all, Prabhus and Matajis, wonderful families for joining. So grateful to every one of you who has joined. To start with, as in the order of screen, I'm seeing Dasraj Prabhu, Hare Krishna, and Mataji, thank you, and to your wonderful kids. Hope Sudhakar Prabhu and your mother is in good health, Dasraj Prabhu. Are they in good health?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, yeah Prabhu, all God's grace, Krishna's grace, they're all
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Practically, I'm hearing everybody falling sick now. You know, everybody is getting corona. It's like one last experience before I go. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Manjula Mataji, Maheshwarati Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Hema Mataji, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dhanavad.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
ప్రణాం ప్రభుజీ.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Baunara Mataji.
బాగున్నాం ప్రభుజీ. అక్కడ వర్కర్స్ వచ్చారని వర్క్ దగ్గరికి
I can imagine. Prabhu మార్నింగ్ క్లాస్ లో కూడా ఉండే ప్రభు 5 నుంచి ఉన్నారు చాంటింగ్ చేసుకుంటూ. హరే కృష్ణ. యా. Raja Ramesh Prabhu and Tulsi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Where are you, Prabhu? You're not in Avatar?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
You are in your hometown
I
again.
don't have now.
Huh? Karnool.
We are in Karnool Prabhuji.
Acha, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Nice. You're going to be there for some time?
Yeah. I will be here for next 1 week Prabhuji.
1 week, is it? Okay. I don't know if it's planned, but you can go to Ravi Teja Prabhu's sister's marriage if you are there in Karnool. It's happening in Karnool.
Oh, in Karnool only.
Yeah. He'll be surprised to see you. If it's okay for you to go, I know there is a lot of spread. Yeah, he called me,
Right,
but
right.
my father's situation, I'm not thinking to go at least for the next 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vijay Raghavan Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam Prabhuji. How is your father, Prabhuji?
They're doing fine, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please convey my pranam to him.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Padmavati Mataji, Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna. How is your son? Hare Krishna. Oh, Hari Hari. Oh, this is Padmavati Mataji from Guntur. Prabhuji, you're on mute. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, I still can't hear you.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, namaste.
Namaste,
Sorry.
namaskaram. Oh, sorry. I did. That's what, from Guntur, right, Mataji?
Right, Kundu. I have a daughter.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. Last week, I didn't see you. I was not sure.
I am in iPod. I couldn't put the name of Padmavati.
Oh, you were the iPod then.
Yes.
Okay. 1 minute. Somebody is coming. Just 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah, so I'll just go live on YouTube also, because last time Mataji told some are struggling to join in Zoom. So if you just give me 1 second, I'll just do that. Should be done. Yeah. Yes. One second. Yeah, it is done. Yes, it is done. Yeah, got it. There you go. Yeah, Hari Bol. Banu Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Sarita Mataji, Hare Krishna. How are you both?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Anta Banena Prabhuji?
All well. Sarita Mataji, she couldn't join. Tanu ikkadiki ellindi. Muchintala sevaki ellindi for next 15 days.
Oh, is it? Hare Krishna.
Sahasrabdi.
Hari Bol. Very nice, very nice. Thank you. We are also eagerly waiting for February 14th.
Yes, yeah, we are. Right.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, how are you doing, Prabhuji? How is your daughter? Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
We are here, Prabhuji, but we all, the entire family, my wife, my kid, myself, we were all having fever for the last week and just recovering now. So still, sore throats and free body pains like that. But I think in another 3 days, we should be okay. So we're just staying at home, not going out, all that.
So it wasn't corona or anything?
Well, we didn't get the test done. But my guess is the same symptoms as what my brother and family were reporting back home. And also some of my business associates, they was also saying the same thing. So it's the same exact cycle. First is fever, high fever for 2-3 days. And then after that, the sore throat will even more enhance. The runny nose or blocked nose, same set of symptoms. I'm assuming it is, but whenever I feel down, I keep thinking Hare Krishna, and then like, kya karega wo?
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
We are all fine now. We're much more recovered than last week. But I think another 3-4 days we should be okay. Staying at home.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah. So it must have been corona, but don't worry.
Yeah,
another 2-3 days you'll kill corona. Khatam.
Yes, you come and go, and that's that.
Yes. Corona and all is temporary. We are always eternal. We are the soul. Hare Krishna. What is that verse? It says, Jayate mrite va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita vayo na bhuya ajo nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So only sharira can be affected, but soul is always eternal. Hanyate hanyamane sharire. Jai. Hare Krishna. Yes. We have Yogesh Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dipti Mataji. Dandot Pranam. Very happy to see you. Very happy. Padma Gandhe Mataji, Hare Krishna. Prasad Prabhu, Haribol, and your whole family, please accept my humble obeisances.
I want to see.
Hare
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, there you go. Where is our little champion? Yeah, there you go. Oh, nice tilak, nice tilak, wonderful. Everybody in the home should wear tilak. Ah, here is a little one. Now he is. How old was he on his birthday?
5 years, Prabhuji.
5 years. Okay, now he's 5 years and how many days?
It's like 5 years, 26
Counted, huh?
days. 28 days.
Yeah. Apparently, that was the last satsang we had. After that, we again switched to online. Yeah, eagerly waiting
Hope
for.
this is the last wave, Prabhuji, for COVID.
Yeah.
We hope this is the last wave for COVID. See,
Yeah.
Corona.
Now, COVID is scared of us. Don't worry.
Then we can start our physical satsang.
Yeah. Haribol.
We were lucky to get the first satsang. The first satsang of 2022 was in our house.
Ah, yes, there you go. Hare Krishna. Amazing. We'll again do in 2022. Okay. COVID is going to run away now. In another few weeks, it's going to run away from this planet, and then we'll do our satsangs. Haribol.
Okay. Maybe it will attack Pluto next.
Hare Krishna. Sanjay Prabhu, Dandot Pranam Prabhuji. How are things in my home, Vihanga? Huh?
Fine. I'm just driving, so maybe my voice.
Okay. Yeah, your voice is a little feeble there. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining, Prabhuji. Krishna Sundar Prabhu. Hare Krishna. And Mataji also. Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you for joining. Prabhuji. Hope all are well. I finished your Tirupati Laddu completely, bro. Personally, I finished it.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So Prabhuji told he went to Tirupati. As soon as he saw a laddu, he remembered me. Maybe I also look like a laddu now. So he got a full laddu for me. I ate that full laddu. Yeah. Aruna Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Shravanti Mataji, Dandot Pranam Mataji. Thank you for joining.
Pranam Prabhuji.
I'm eagerly waiting that we all will start meeting again in most probably in the Amphitheater or the Hanuman temple place that we are excavating now, right? So that it'll be so nice to see you all again.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, will there be a class on February 14th?
February 14th is Nityananda Trayadashi. It's a Tuesday, right?
Oh, Tuesday. Okay. So no class, right?
Yeah, no. I'm planning for a class, a joint class for the existing group and this group together will take one class. I will schedule it. So you all know who is Nityanand Prabhu and his glories. And I'm sure many will be going for service. Who are not going to service to Chinnaji Ashram can attend that class. Others who are going there. I was planning to go, but because of my father, I'm like thinking not to go on that day because spread is really high right now. I mean, it's mild, but for my father, it is very severe, anything that comes, right? So that's why, please excuse me. Yeah, I will schedule something there. Yes. And and one more announcement. So sometime in the 3rd week of Feb or 4th week, we are planning to go and do some village distribution of Bhagavad Gitas. So I will send an invite. Most of you are invited to come. Many of you donated also for village distribution. And some of them we distributed in Orissa in tribal villages. And some of them we have distributed in some other villages in Andhra. And some of them we are going to distribute now in Chevella. Around 1,000 plus Bhagavad Gitas we are planning to distribute. Prabhujis and Matajis, please, you'll have to excuse me for a couple of minutes. I have my cousin brother who has come. Is it okay? I'll just be back in 2 minutes.
No problem.
Yeah,
No
sorry
problem.
about that.
Okay.
They've come from far place for giving a wedding invitation. They just can just take it and come.
Okay,
Yeah?
no problem.
Yeah, 1 minute. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhuji. Please forgive me. My cousin brother is very close to me since my childhood. Eldest, actually, my mother's side, we are 5 brothers. So my mother's sisters, they have 5 sons. So we are like Pandavas, we used to say. so today Yudhishthir came, the eldermost brother came. And then we have, so Ravi, his name is Ravi, then Rakesh, Narayan, and then me. No, Rakesh, then me, and then Narayan, like that. So there is one Srinu, 5 brothers. So once in a while we meet, very rarely now these days. So sorry about that. I just stopped the class in between. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so before I start the class, I just was telling that we are planning for the village distribution of books. So I'm trying to organize some programs with the temples in some villages near and around Chevella. So we'll go there and we'll give the books to Pujari, like 200 Bhagavad Gitas, and also call for a small program for people to come. And the Pujari will give it to the people who are actually coming to temple. He'll encourage them. He'll also encourage them to conduct classes, if possible. We are immensely in need of speakers, speakers who will explain Bhagavad Gita. That is the situation of India today. So I wish that, and I humbly pray that all of you in this call will, after a few years, start the initiative of preaching. So you can also go and conduct classes and encourage many, many more people to learn Bhagavad Gita. Can we do that? Hare Krishna. Yeah, our country really needs it, Prabhuji. It's not a situation to actually ask, but we have to ask that, we all educated people, especially all of us in the call are very well educated people. And if we don't convey the message of Bhagavad Gita, who will? And today's society is really looking for that. And that's why I'm going a little slow so that you learn Bhagavad Gita perfectly, all the verses. And all these classes are recorded. You can again hear them. And then whenever you're ready, you can start conducting classes. I can guide you with how to do that. And we all have to do it to revive dharma back into our society. Right? So we have to do that. That's the way. That's the way to go. Hare Krishna. Is my expectation bothering you or something?
Not bothering Prabhuji, but a lot of responsibility. So it's not easy to admit to it, even though the heart wants it. It is something that you feel like any other, deep subject. It'll be, listening to you, we have the confidence maybe, but, when you have to be on the teacher side, then you feel like, you cannot let it down, right? So that is a lot of responsibility to be taken. Maybe that is why a lot of people are not replying. I'm telling you how I feel. It's not an easy thing that we feel. That's why.
In my friends and the devotee circle, in my friend circle and devotee circle, everybody says if this fellow can do it, that if I can do it, anybody can do it.
That's your humbleness, Prabhuji.
No, really, I'm telling you the truth. Yeah, you have not met the best speakers in ISKCON. You're meeting like what you call that? The extra men outside the team, right? Were sparely called whenever there is a need. So I really am looking forward that one day you'll actually meet some great, very nice devotees in our society. It's filled with wonderful devotees, and you also are going to be. You're already part of it. We all together are Krishna conscious, practicing devotees sadhakas, and we have to distribute this knowledge across. You don't know what's going on outside. I'll show you one, just for the, not that I plan to show, but I'll show you one small video. Let me just show you this, okay? Today morning, actually, Arvind Prabhu sent it, right? 1 second, where is that video? Yeah. Yeah. This is not worthy to be shown here, but I have to show it just so that you all know what's going on. Let me know if you can hear the voice, okay? 1 minute. Yeah. Can you, I'll just play it once. Can you hear the voice? Could you hear the voice?
No, Prabhuji, not clear.
Little
No?
only.
Little only? I mean, did you hear anything at all?
Yes, yes.
Yes, some noise kind of thing, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Not
1
clear.
minute. Yeah, now I'll again play it, okay? Let me know in after 30 seconds whether you heard it or not.
Yeah, we can hear now.
శ్రీరామచంద్రుడు 2 సార్లు ఆయన ఇల్లు కట్టుకున్నాడు. మొదటి చిత్రకూటంలో ఒక చిన్న పర్ణశాలను నిర్మించుకున్నాడు. అది నిర్మించుకున్నాక లోపలికి వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు బలిచ్చి వెళ్ళాలి అని చెప్పి జంతువులను తీసుకొచ్చి బలిచ్చి వాటికి నారాయణ బలి చేసి నైవేద్యం పెట్టి గృహదేవతలకి భూతాలకి నైవేద్యం పెట్టి ఆయన చూపారు. తర్వాత దక్షిణానికి వచ్చి మన భద్రాచలం దగ్గర ఉంది పర్ణశాల అని. ఆ పర్ణశాల కట్టుకున్నప్పుడు కూడా మళ్ళా బలిచ్చి లోపలికి వెళ్ళాడు. బలి లేకుండా పూజ లేదు. అలాగే శ్రీరామచంద్రుడు అయోధ్య నుంచి అరణ్యానికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు మొట్టమొదటి రాత్రి ఆయన ఒక్కడో ఉన్నప్పుడు 4 జంతువులను చంపి, ఒక లేడీ, ఒక అడవి పంది, ఒక ఎనుబోతు, ఒక లేడీ, వీటిని చంపి ఆయన వారి ముగ్గురు కలిసి తిన్నారు, లక్ష్మణుడు, సీత.
I really don't even feel like playing this video. You know, it is that bad, right? 1 second. Sorry. Yeah. Hare Krishna. You all heard that, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. You know, this fellow is a Christian preacher. He is converted, but he is not showing that he's converted. And he is in the guise of wearing a Hindu clothes, you know, Sanatan Dharmi clothes, just putting a saffron cloth and putting a tilak. He's going ahead and misinterpreting our scriptures and is propagating to the Hindus and the whole Christians that Lord Rama, Sita and Lakshmana used to eat meat. Can you believe it? Now tell me, how do you guide, innocent people outside? They will do anything for conversion. And more than forget about, people getting converted. What about the Hindus who are completely uneducated today, spiritually uneducated? They will see this fellow's lecture and actually they'll conclude that yes, Rama and Sita and Lakshmana used to eat meat. Isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right? This is going on. Now you tell me, Prabhujis and Matajis, how much need is there for Sanatan Dharma followers, Hindus, to come out of their houses and start preaching the scriptures, learn the scriptures, learn Bhagavad Gita, how important it is now. And how much we have to silence these people. More than silencing these people, we can focus on, we coming out and doing the right thing, right? Because how many dogs can you stop from barking? He's completely misinterpreting. Completely. The statements in Ramayana about meat have to be understood in a different way. This fellow is completely misinterpreting and is proving that Rama is to eat meat. And then he'll tell that we Christians are also eating meat, because Bible says, 10 commandments say that thou shalt not kill. They are not supposed to eat meat. There is no provision to eat meat, but they are making it licensed by doing different things. And now they are trying to convert people, and people are converted when they're questioning. They are showing such videos and they are misguiding them. And Bhagavad Gita is also so misinterpreted by so many speakers, so-called speakers of our own Hindus, who have cheaply presented Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and such important subjects, right? So there is a very, very important need for our next generation to come out and present it in the right way, so that so that many people will not be misguided. Many people will not be misguided. It's not, see, I'm not saying our movement is a vegetarianism movement or something. No, that's not the point. The point is understanding what you get when you eat what, right? That's what even Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tamo guna, Sattva guna, Rajo guna. And if somebody wants to keep taking birth in the material world and they like this place, they want to come back to Gachibowli, Madhapur, Las Vegas, wherever, they can keep eating and doing whatever they want. Our Vedic scriptures don't stop them. At the same time, they warn them that, you can keep taking Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi until you want. But if you want to come out of the cycle, then you have to do certain things. That is what is explained, right? So that is a proper way of understanding spirituality. Spirituality is never forced on anybody. And nobody is told that, if you don't do this, you'll go to hell. Nothing like that, right? But unfortunately, these Abrahamic religions and other religions who have an agenda, who want to destroy the culture of this country, especially India being the most central part of the spiritual culture of the world. This is the only culture which is still remaining on the planet. They are doing their best to destroy it by projecting and showing themselves as Hindus, right? You can see what he's wearing and how he's talking, as if he's, and look at his, sight, the way he's speaking, as if he's, making sure people are looking at him, or, like as if a thief looks at things, right? He knows that what he's speaking is wrong, but he will do that just so that he'll become famous. See, if I release a video in YouTube saying Ramachandra never ate meat and eating meat is not good, my video will not be popular. It will be one of those videos. But if I release a video that Ramachandra used to eat meat, and my video will go viral, because that is what people want to listen. That is what people want to propagate, isn't it? Including the speakers like Garikapati Narasimha Rao, another big nonsense, who has come into the arena of spiritual talks. He speaks whatever he wants. There is got no reference to scripture, no reference to anything. He will just speak, and he has a big following. Even he is speaking that people can eat whatever they want. It's got nothing to do with religion. Can you believe it? This is what is going on today. And that is the immense need that we all should learn Bhagavad Gita. Every Indian should learn Bhagavad Gita. Every child should learn Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, scriptures, and then make their decisions in life, and then also educate others. Right? So I'm sorry, I just changed my agenda from speaking, but I saw this video in the morning. Arvind Prabhu sent it. Since then, I was so disturbed that what is going on? Why are we keeping quiet? Apparently, we are the most tolerant people to keep quiet also with such videos.
Prabhuji, all these are expected in Kali Yuga.
Yes, Mataji, Kali Yuga, everything is expected. Unfortunately, it is like that. But we have to do our part. Still, we have to do our part, right? We are educating our children, isn't it? Knowing that it is Kali Yuga, still we are educating our children. Still, we are trying to practice whatever best we can. Yeah. Okay. So I'll not divert this forum and topic. Okay. So let's go forward. So last week we stopped in Bhagavad Gita. 1 minute. In 3.36, right? Then now Arjuna is going to ask the question. Yeah, 1 minute. So remember last week what we discussed is Lord Krishna is telling to perform the prescribed duties, even though faultily, but don't change your nature of duty. You perform according to the same nature. Remember, you all remember, right? That's what we discussed. Nature of duty should not be changed. If you have certain traits in certain nature, don't try to change that nature. In that nature also you can perform duty, whether you're a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra or anyone. Doesn't matter. All of them are equally important for Krishna because he is the one who created them. You all remember this last Prabhuji, because that is the basis on which we are continuing. We are finishing Karma Yoga today. We'll be trying to finish the chapter itself, another 6 verses. You all remember this? Or any questions? Hare Krishna?
No questions, Prabhuji.
No question. Yeah, I'm just clarifying so that I can go forward. Okay. So, yeah. So 3.36. Please repeat after me. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna uvacha atha kena prakyukto ayam
अथ केन प्रयुक्तोऽयम्
atha kena prayukto ayam
अथ केन प्रयुक्तोऽयम्
papam charati purushah
पापं चरति पुरुषः
papam charati purushah
पापं चरति पुरुषः
anichan api varshneya
अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय
anichan api varshneya
अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय
balad iva niyojita
बलादिव नियोजिता
balad iva niyojita.
बलादिव नियोजिता.
Hare Krishna. Please repeat after me the translation. Arjuna said,
Arjuna said,
O descendant of Vrishni,
O descendant of Vrishni,
by what is one impelled
what is one impelled
to sinful acts,
to sinful acts,
even unwillingly,
even unwillingly,
as if engaged by force?
as if engaged by force.
Right now, here, Lord, Arjuna is asking Krishna a very practical question. He's saying that sometimes I feel as if I don't want to do it, still something is forcing me to do such sinful acts. What is that? Even if somebody wants to practice spiritual life, he wants to stop certain things in life, but he's not able to stop it. As if there is some force from behind, as if impelling us to do those sinful acts. How many agree with this? Prabhuji and Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay.
Yeah, we all have habits, we all have conditionings from the past. And when we want to follow something higher, we are forced to sometimes continue to do those bad things, even though we are trying to practice spiritual life. So Arjuna is asking, this is a practical question by Arjuna, right? So let us hear the purport of Prabhupada. A living entity as part and parcel of the Supreme is originally spiritual, pure, and free from all material contaminations. Therefore, by nature, he is not subject to the sins of the material world. But when he is in contact with the material nature, he acts in many sinful ways without hesitation, and sometimes even against his will. As such, Arjuna's question to Krishna is very sanguine as to the perverted nature of the living entities. Although the living entity sometimes does not want to act in sin, he is still forced to act. Sinful actions are not, however, impelled by the super soul within, but are due to another cause, as the Lord explains in the next verse. Right? So this is a practical question for everybody practicing spirituality, is that it's not easy to let go our past nature. And we have to do some very important acts, which is what Lord Krishna is going to speak in the future verses, how to let go that. And even though we make mistakes, don't feel bad about it, because the mistakes will happen. To err is human, to make mistakes is possible. We might continue some bad things, which is very difficult to give up, but we will eventually give up, right? So let us see what Lord Krishna is saying in the next verse. Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Kama esha krodha esha. Kama esha krodha esha. Rajoguna samudbhava. Rajoguna samudbhava. Mahashano mahapapma. Mahashano mahapapma. Vidhi enam iha vairinam. Vidhi enam iha vairinam. Yeah, this is a very important verse. You can circle it, and you should try to learn this. It's a very important verse in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, 3.37. Repeat the translation after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
The Supreme Personality
of Godhead said,
it is lust only, Arjuna.
It is lust only, Arjuna,
which is born of contact with the material mode of passion.
which is more of contact with the material mode of passion,
later transformed into wrath,
and later transformed into wrath,
and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world.
And which is
which
the
is all devouring sinful enemy of this world.
Okay, so here Lord Krishna is saying this lust, this kama esha krodha esha, and when it is not fulfilled, it results into anger. When lust is not fulfilled, it results into anger, and this is the most dangerous enemy of this world, right? Lust is what? Desiring to enjoy without Krishna, that is lust. Desiring to enjoy with Krishna is love. Simple, right? Anything desiring to enjoy, keeping God in the consciousness is love. And when you remove God from that and you want to enjoy it without God, that is lust. That is very self-centered people. Whatever they do is for their own lust. So when that is not fulfilled, it provides anger, wrath. It creates like big havoc, right? So that is very dangerous. So let's read the purport, and please focus as I read the purport. When a living entity comes in contact with the material creation, his eternal love for Krishna is transformed into lust in association with the mode of passion. Or in other words, the sense of love of God becomes transformed into lust, as milk in contact with sour tamarind is transformed into yogurt. Then again, when lust is unsatisfied, it turns into wrath. Wrath is transformed into illusion, and illusion continues the material existence, right? I'll just stop it here. See the first 4 lines. This is what is going on, right? When we come in contact with material creation, only when we are in the material world, our love, our original pure love is transformed into lust. Meaning, earlier in spiritual world, I wanted to do activities which will, I wanted to do activities for the satisfaction of Krishna. But after coming to material world, I want to do activities only for my satisfaction, my family satisfaction. Me, I'm in the center, right? So our eternal love got converted into lust. Exactly like when you add sour tamarind into milk, it becomes curd, right? So the form has changed, the purity has changed. Then again, when lust is unsatisfied, when that lust to enjoy in this world is unsatisfied, then automatically it's turned into, you become illusioned, and we forget about our good decisions or bad decisions. Everything we'll do to make sure that we are enjoying again. And what that means, we'll continue our material existence. Now I'll ask a question to all of you. Most of you live in my home avatar, right? So how many enemies do you have in my home avatar? Tell me. How many enemies you have in my home avatar?
Zero.
Huh?
Zero. None.
Zero. Vijay Raghavan Prabhu. Okay. Arvind Prabhu, how many enemies you have?
No one, Prabhuji.
I'll tell you the reason I'm asking that question. As long as you don't touch the sense gratification of anybody in my home avatar, you don't become an obstacle in their sense gratification. You are their friend. As soon as you even touch their sense gratificatory plans, you will become their enemy. As simple as that. Everybody has come into my home avatar or my home Krishi or my home Vyanga or Aparna or any community. For why did they come? Enjoy. They've come there for enjoyment. They didn't come there for serving Krishna. They came there for enjoyment. I will keep my home theater. I will have my big swimming pool. I will have my, whatever enjoyment. I'll wear whatever I want. I'll wear whatever I want and I'll roam around. I'll speak the way I want. I want to enjoy. So that is the tendency. And if you go and enjoy with them, you are their best friend. You are their best friend, right? Say, yes, Prabhu, please, you also come. Let's enjoy. But even if you knock the next door, just knock the next door and tell, sir, can you decrease your sound a little? It is a little too much. It's coming into my house. Yeah, your first enemy of my avatar.
Yes,
First
Prabhu.
enemy of my avatar will come in. Finish. You don't have to do any extraordinary effort. No extraordinary effort. Right?
True, Prabhu.
Is it true or no?
Yes, true, Prabhu.
True, Prabhuji. True.
Yeah, so that's what is going on, right? So we feel that the whole material world is our friends. We feel our material world is friends. One small intervention in the sense gratification, khatam. Khatam, finish. You don't need to. I'm not trying to influence you. I'm telling you the truth. That is what is going on. As soon as you go and tell, sir, this is not right, immediately, whether it's an old person or a small child, or a small child will tell you. You know, a small child is playing, he wants to keep his bicycle somewhere. You go and tell that child that, Nana, here you should not park, you should park there. You become his enemy. Then and there, at that spot, he'll tell, who are you to tell me? Which block you live? This is my block I live. It will go to any extent. That is how we are being trained. Nobody needs to touch anybody. We are living in a gated community, but it's a gated jail. That's all it is. You think that you are living in a community, go and touch somebody, then you'll know what community you're living in. Go and try to suggest something to somebody. Very less number of people are open for suggestions. I'm not saying not everybody. Hardly 1%. 1% of the population wants to hear something good if you want to tell them. Other people, you mind your business, I mind my business. As long as I don't touch your business, you don't touch my business. Right? If you don't do that, we are all great friends. If you do that, we are enemies. I am convinced on this. There is no discussion for me at least. Right? So as long Antavarke. But Vedic culture was not like that. Vedic culture was people were open for getting corrected. People are open for getting, even from a lowest level person, even a beggar can come and correct you. If you read Bhagavatam, people you would never expect would come into your life and correct you. Your own employee will correct you. Your own subordinate will correct you. A beggar on the street will correct you. Why to say that? Even a prostitute corrected a great Brahmana. Right? That is our culture, because we want to learn dharma. Huh? Yeah, 1 minute, just 1 minute. No, I'll do it later. I just tell them that I'll give it later. Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So I'll share my screen. Yeah. Okay. Therefore, lust is the greatest enemy of the living entity, and it is lust only which induces the pure living entity to remain entangled in this material world. Wrath or anger, you can say, is the manifestation of the mode of ignorance. These modes exhibit themselves as wrath and other corollaries. If, therefore, the mode of passion, instead of being degraded into the mode of ignorance, is elevated to the mode of goodness by the prescribed method of the living and acting, then one can be saved from the degradation of wrath by spiritual attachment. Right? You can highlight, you can underline this part of the paragraph. From the when a living entity till spiritual attachment. They're very important. These sections, if you read now, once in a while, whenever you open Bhagavad Gita and you read, you'll get the essence of what Lord Krishna is trying to speak. Right? So further, Purport says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead expanded himself into many of his ever-increasing spiritual bliss, and the living entities and the living entities are parts and parcels of this spiritual bliss. They also have partial independence, but by misuse of their independence, when the service attitude is transformed into propensity for sense enjoyment, they come under the sway of lust. The material creation is created by the Lord to give facility to the conditioned souls to fulfill these lustful propensities. And when completely baffled by prolonged lustful activities, the living entities begin to inquire about their real position. Right? Now here beautifully, Prabhupada is saying, we will get baffled one day. Right? We'll get beaten up one day. Right? See, what is happening is, we all want to enjoy. Everybody wants to enjoy. Even I went to America to enjoy only. Right? Everybody goes to different countries to enjoy only. But after too much of material association, sometimes when you're getting beaten up, meaning all your plans for enjoyment are being broken. Right? I want to enjoy like this, something has happened. I want to enjoy like that, something has happened. I wanted a very good wife. She came and she's taunting me now every day. I wanted a good boss. My boss is taunting me. I wanted good children. Children are not listening to me. When all my plans are being crushed, when all my plans are being compromised, then one day I will sit and think, what is going on? Why anything I'm planning is not working out? Who is doing this? If I wanted things to happen like this, who is making sure that it is not happening like that? So the questioning starts. When the questioning will start, when the questioning will start, then what will happen? Then you start getting answers. And if you are fortunate, if the answers come from Bhagavad Gita, your questions are completely answered. Otherwise, you'll go and sit with some psychiatrist. That fellow will give some sedation pills and he'll tell some useless philosophy. You'll be half convinced. You'll come home. You'll feel nice. You'll go on a vacation, come back and again go through the same problems. Until you go to Bhagavad Gita and learn the truth of why do bad things happen to good people, or why do good things happen to bad people, right? Then if you understand the law of karma, and then you'll understand this whole material creation, then you will understand, oh my God, I'm so badly stuck here. How do I come out of this place? Right? Then, you'll start putting efforts to learn the right knowledge, which will take you out of this material world. Prabhuji Mataji's self-realization is the only way, and bhakti is the only way to go out of this material world. Otherwise, you cannot. Nobody can. Right? You all are following what I'm saying?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Any questions here so far? Purport is a little heavy purport, but I want us to properly get convinced before I go forward. Did you all understand what is lust? Okay, tell me what is lust. What is lust?
The attraction for the material things, Prabhuji.
No. That is not
Desire
lust.
to enjoy independent of Krishna.
Attraction for material things is not lust. That is attachment. Attraction is attachment. What is lust?
Desire to enjoy independent of Krishna.
Desire to enjoy those material things without Krishna. That is lust. For example, I am attracted to this mobile. I'm just giving an example. I'm attracted to this mobile. Is that lust? No. Maybe I'm choosing this mobile because it has 3 cameras for which I can take nice videos for Krishna. That is not lust. If I'm attracted for that reason, it is not lust. It's love. But if I'm taking this to make selfies, boom, boom, all that photographs I want to take and put it in YouTube, in or Facebook, in Orkut, Instagram, and I want me to be glorified, me to be liked, me to be, receiving likes and all, then that is lust. Because there is no Krishna in that. There is no Krishna in that. And what will happen if I kept a nice selfie and I did not get a single like? What will happen? क्या आएगा उसके बाद? Unfulfilled lust.
Frustration, disappointment.
Anger will come. Right? Immediately anger will come. Simple, right? Bhagavad Gita is so simple to understand. Right? Krishna is saying, then anger will come. And when anger comes, what will I do? Even the intelligence will go, memory will go. Right? All good intelligence will go. Then what I'll do? This picture was not liked by me, so I have to do something extra to get that picture. I have to do something extraordinary to get an even more attractive picture. Right? Then I'll go on to the terrace of 30th floor. I'll stand on the corner of the building. I'll keep the camera like this and I'll say, see where I'm standing. I'll take a picture. And what will happen? When air will come, I'll fall. 30 floors, I'll fall and die. That is exactly what's going on in our material life. We are getting attracted and doing certain endeavors, which is make us fall into this material world again and again and again. Until our propensity to enjoy without Krishna is there, we will take birth again and again and again. Yahan pe aana hi padega. Simple, right? You go to the same 30th floor and take a picture of the temple Oh, temple is so looking nice, from the top. You'll not fall. You'll go up directly to Krishna. But if you're trying to take a selfie, to glorify yourself, then you will fall. You will come back here. As simple as that. Did you all understand what's going on? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm adding the purport now. Okay, we're continuing the purport. Yeah. Yeah. The inquiry is beginning. See, this inquiry is beginning. Why is it happening with me? Why am I not enjoying? Who is stopping me to enjoy? When that inquiry starts, right? Here Prabhupada is saying, this inquiry is the beginning of the Vedanta Sutras, wherein it says, Atatho Brahma Jignasa. Therefore, one should now inquire into the Supreme. Right? The inquiry is to start. And the Supreme is defined in Srimad Bhagavatam as Janmadyasya Yatho Anyavad Itarascha, or the origin of everything is the Supreme Brahman. Therefore, the origin of lust is also the Supreme. If therefore lust is transformed into love for the Supreme, or transformed to Krishna consciousness, or in other words, desiring everything for Krishna, then both lust and wrath can be spiritualized. If I just include Krishna in my life, in everything, automatically lust will transform into love. Hanuman, the great servitor of Lord Rama, exhibited his wrath by burning the golden city of Ravana. But by doing so, he became the greatest devotee of the Lord. Here also in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord induces Arjuna to engage his wrath upon his enemies for the satisfaction of the Lord. Therefore, lust and wrath, when they are employed in Krishna consciousness, becomes our friend instead of enemy. Right? So, Prabhuji Mataji is understand that Lord Krishna is what do you call that? Ahimso Parama Dharma. You heard that? Ahimso Paramo Dharma. Yeah, it is Ahimso Paramo Dharma, but that is Ahimsa in a certain situation. When we are supposed to act, we are supposed to act. Even raising hand or leg is not bad. Raising a weapon is also not bad when it is needed. Right? When it is needed, you have to do that. That is dharma. If you don't do that, then that is violence. That is violence.
Yeah, dharma rakshati rakshita.
Exactly. You have to do it. You have to, there's something called self-defense. And forget about self-defense. Self-dharma, saving dharma of the country is also important. Saving dharma of our religion, of our beliefs is also important. Otherwise, we are not violent. We don't want to convert anybody. But if some nonsense fellow comes to convert us, we have to give him peace of mind. Once I was standing in America outside a supermarket in San Jose. I was standing outside a supermarket, Indian supermarket. One fellow came, one Indian fellow came. He gave me a pamphlet. I was not expecting that. I was waiting for my wife to come out. I was holding a cart, and this fellow comes and gives me a pamphlet. And I said, just looked at that pamphlet. Jesus is the savior. Aha, I understood. Okay. Another fellow came. Jesus is the savior. Then I asked him, is Jesus the only savior? Is the only savior? I asked him. It's like he didn't know that I used to preach. Tilak was not there. I was just standing in my office dress. And this fellow came and he started. So I asked him, so is Jesus the only savior? Then he was hesitant to tell. Then he said, you take it, you read the Bible, you'll know. I said, no, I'm asking a simple question. Have you read Bible? He said, yes, I have read Bible. So, is Jesus the only savior? He said, Jesus is the only savior. So I asked him, if I don't follow Jesus, will I go to hell? Will I go to hell if I don't follow Jesus? He was hesitant to tell, but that is what those people tell. You will go to hell. Then I asked him, will my grandma also go to hell? My grandma was a very nice person. Okay, I might be a bad person. My grandmother was a very nice person. She used to feed everybody who used to come home. She was so nice with everybody. Will she also go to hell? Now that fellow is getting uncomfortable. Right? So, because they don't have answers for certain things. They don't have any answers for anything. Right? Why are we suffering in this world? Provision Matajis, why are we suffering in this world? We got the answer, right? In this verse, Lord Krishna is telling, when we come here to enjoy, without him, When we are self-centered and our lust is not fulfilled, it turns into anger and we keep repeated mistakes. So we live in this world. This answer is more convincing. Or one fellow called Adam is sleeping under a tree. He got attracted to apple. He ate. Because he ate that apple, we all have to suffer. Which is more convincing, you tell me? Huh? ఆ యాడమ్ అవడు, ఆ ఈవ్ ఎవరు, వాళ్ళు పండు తింటే నేను చావడు ఏంటి? రైట్? ఏమైనా అర్థం ఉందా? Who is that fellow Adam? Who is that Eve? That fellow ate the fruit. Why am I suffering? It's like telling you that your grandfather pushed somebody from the balcony, you have to go to jail. You'll agree that? Meaningless philosophy. Meaningless, baseless philosophy. And they're converting people. And we people taking birth in India, we have not learned Bhagavad Gita. This one verse will explain you why you have taken birth. Krishna is telling very clearly, this is why you have taken birth. Because you are a misfit in the spiritual world. Because in spiritual world, Krishna is always the center. He is the person accepting service. Everybody is serving him. And they are happy like that. Don't think that serving somebody, you'll be unhappy. By serving somebody, you'll be happy. By serving your children, you'll be happy. By serving your mother, you'll be happy. By serving the Supreme Lord, you'll be happy. Tell me, if there is somebody in your family who doesn't want to serve anybody else in the family, will you keep that fellow in the house? Unchukuntara intlo? Huh? He's staying in your house saying, no, I'll not bring water to anybody. I'll not make anything for anybody. I'll not earn for anybody. I don't care about you all. I want to enjoy. Just cook and give to me. I am here to sit and eat. Will you keep that fellow in the house?
No, Prabhuji.
No. What will you tell if your children do like that? In urgent hostel pampiyala. Every mother says that, isn't it? In urgent hostel sakkayedo. If I send you to hostel, there nobody will prepare for you, then you will get corrected, isn't it? That's what, don't we say that to our children? How many told that? Lift your hand.
Yeah, I told you.
Avuna? This material world, this Nanakramguda, this Gachiboli, this Madhapur, Tellapur is that hostel. We have been all sent here to the hostel. Struggle for existence. Go work like a donkey from Monday to Friday to earn money to enjoy on Saturday and Sunday, and you will not enjoy that. You will not enjoy that. Even if you want to buy that enjoyment, you will not find that enjoyment. Right? That is the material world. Dukkhalaya ashashvatam. What is the material world? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Definition of material. I'm not telling that. Krishna is telling that. Right? Okay. Let's finish the remaining purport. It's a very important verse and purport, so I'm spending more time on this. Yeah. Yeah. So here in Bhagavatam, there is a explanation by Maharaj Yayati. It is basically told that by fulfilling the desires of the senses, we become more attached to them, not less attached. Right? It becomes even more. Sometimes people think that, okay, Prabhuji, thoda satisfaction I'll give na. By giving that thoda satisfaction, what will happen? You will become even bigger servant of your senses. It's like adding ghee. It is like adding ghee into fire. I'm telling this philosophy, Prabhuji Mati, it's not easy to follow. But through patience, determination, we will follow one day. Okay? Any questions so far? So what was Arjuna's question, Prabhuji Mataji? Does anyone remember what was Arjuna's question?
What forces a person to do sinful activities?
Exactly. What forces one to perform sinful activity? Even when he doesn't want to perform, what is it that is forcing? And what was the answer of Krishna?
Lust.
Kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguno sabudbhava. Right? He's saying this lust, unfulfilled lust, transformed to wrath, along with mode of passion. Mode of passion is required for doing that. Mode of goodness, you can't do it. That is what results into wrath. along with passion, right? So he's saying lust is the biggest enemy of this world. Okay, lust means to enjoy anything without Krishna. Yeah. 3.38. Please repeat after me. Dhumena avrityate one second. Dhumena vrityate vanhir.
Dhumena vriyate vahnir.
Dhumena vriyate vahnir.
Dhumena vriyate vahnir.
Yatha darsho malena cha.
Yata darsho malena cha.
Yatha darsho malena cha.
Yata darsho malena cha.
Yathol benarprato garbhas.
Yathol binavrato garbhas.
Let me read it properly. Yatha ardasha malena cha.
Yata darsho malena cha.
Malena cha.
Yathol, wait a second. Yeah, I normally break the word sometimes when I'm reading this verse. Yatha ublena. Yatha ublena avrita garbha.
Yathal binavrato garbhas.
See here, if you see my mouse, I'm pointing to the word. Sometimes when the word is very big, you can as well break it and read along with this. Okay. Yatha ulbena avrita garbha.
Yata ulbena avrata garbha.
Tatha te nadam avritam.
Tata denadam avratam.
Tatha te nadam avritam.
Tata denadam avratam.
Please repeat after me. Translation. As fire is covered by smoke.
As fire is covered by smoke.
As a mirror is covered by dust.
As mirror is covered by dust.
Or as the embryo is covered by the womb.
Or as the embryo is covered by the womb.
The living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of this lust.
The living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of this lust.
Right? So here example is being given that lust also has different levels. Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, lust is also at different levels. Okay, you want to enjoy without me, that is lust. But that lust also has different levels. What is the first level? Fire covered by smoke. Right? Second level, mirror covered by dust. And third level, embryo, covered by the womb. Right? Now we'll understand why Krishna is taking that example. Okay, now this is why purport is very important. But people read this and like, okay, that is what it means. But let us try to understand what is the 3 degrees in the purport. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's please focus everybody. There are 3 degrees of covering of the living entity by which his pure consciousness is obstructed. 3 degrees of covering. Okay, this covering is but lust under different manifestations like smoke in the fire, dust on the mirror, and the womb above the embryo. When lust is compared to smoke, it is understood that fire of the living spark can be little perceived. Right? When the lust is compared to smoke, it is understood that the fire of the living spark can be little perceived. In other words, when the living entity exhibits his Krishna consciousness slightly, he may be likened to the fire covered. He may be likened to the fire covered by the smoke. Right? That means he's still trying to come out. So it's the lowest level of lust. Although fire is necessary where there is smoke, there is no overend manifestation of the fire in the early stage. This stage is like the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Right? The dust on the mirror refers to the cleansing process of the mirror of the mind by so many spiritual methods. The best process is to chant the holy names of the Lord. The embryo covered by the womb is an analogy illustrating a helpless position. For the child in the womb is so helpless that he cannot even move. This stage of living condition can be compared to that of the trees. The trees are also living entities, but they have been put in such a condition of life by such a great exhibition of lust that they are almost void of all consciousness. The covered mirror is compared to the birds and beasts, and the smoke covered fire is compared to human being. In the form of human being, the living entity may revive a little Krishna consciousness, and if he makes further development, the spirit of spiritual life, the fire of spiritual life can be kindled in the human form of life. By careful handling of the smoke in the fire, fire can be made to blaze. Therefore, the human form of life is a chance for the living entity to escape the entanglement of the material existence. In the human form of life, one can conquer the enemy lust by cultivation of Krishna consciousness under the able guidance. Hare Krishna. Did you all understand, Prabhuji Mataji, what Prabhupada is trying to explain? What Lord Krishna is trying to explain by taking the example of 3 levels of lust. What is that? Fire covered by smoke. Second is
Dust.
mirror covered by dust. Third is embryo covered by womb. Right? Now tell me, simple, right? I mean, embryo covered by womb is a situation where the embryo is completely helpless. It's inside. It can't even come out. Right? It can't see anything outside. Can a child in the womb see anything? He can't see anything. Can he move anywhere he wants? No. He's packed in that bag. He can't go anywhere. Right? So most difficult time to practice Krishna consciousness. Most difficult. To practice anything like bhakti, it is very difficult when you are like a embryo inside the womb. And what is the example that Prabhupada has given? Trees. Trees are the best living entities for this example, who, even if they want to practice spiritual life, can they go to satsang? Can trees go to satsang? Can trees go to temple? Can trees sit down and hear? No, they can't. It's so difficult. They are compared to the lowest level of people or lowest level of living entities for whom it's very difficult to practice Krishna consciousness. They are like embryo inside a womb. Better than them are birds and animals who can at least wander around. They have freedom to wander around. Right? And by following certain process, or by if they're fortunate, they'll take a human birth. And by following some spiritual methods, they can actually revive their Krishna consciousness. Little better than embryo and womb situation. Right? So that situation is covered to dust on the mirror. So you can remove the dust. Embryo can you remove? Womb can you remove? You can't remove. Womb you cannot remove. I mean, embryo has to come out by itself by becoming a full child. But dust you can remove. Right? And the most convenient or human being situation is fire and smoke. When there is smoke on the fire will not burn that much. What do? We blow away the smoke. We do that. Why? The smoke goes and the fire will easily come out. Right? So, in case of a human being, we are in a much better situation where we are compared to, we are not like a tree or other animals. We are like a human where we can easily remove that covering. We remove that covering by practicing Krishna consciousness. So Lord Krishna is telling that there are people in 3 levels of lust. Deeply rooted lust, a little lust that can be managed, and a situation where lust can be cured. Human beings. Right? So if you see deeply materialistic people, they are compared to an embryo. If you are seeing people who are going to temple but not totally understanding spirituality, they are compared to dust and mirror. And the people who are coming to satsang are compared to fire and smoke. The more you fan the spark, the more it will develop into fire. Did you all understand Prabhuji and Mataji's 3 levels of lust? Any doubts? Okay.
Clear, Prabhu.
Yeah, 1 minute. Something that came up. Just give this and. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, something came up. I just signed. I had to sign it and give. Yeah. So, did everybody understand position, Matajis? Or should I take a revision now? I'll take a revision if nobody is speaking.
Clear, Prabhu.
Huh? So let me ask some questions then. So Padmavati Mataji, you can hear me? Hare Krishna. Okay. Can you tell me, Padmavati Mataji, can you tell me about lust and lust as fire and smoke? Can you tell a little about it?
Fire and smoke. Can I speak in Telugu?
తెలుగులో చెప్పండి. మీకు అర్థమైంది చెప్పండి.
మనిషి తనను ఏ స్థితిలో ఉంచుకోవాలనేది అతని చేతుల్లోనే ఉంటది. ఒక చెట్టులాగా, ఒక గర్భంలో ఉన్న శిశువులాగా ఉండాలా, ఒక పక్షిలాగా ఉండాలా, లేదంటే అగ్నిని రగల్చుకొని తనని తను బయటికి తీసుకొని పరమాత్మ తత్వంలోకి వెళ్ళగలిగే స్థితిలో ఒక మానవుడిగా ఉండాలనేది అతని చేతుల్లోనే ఉంటది. అది మనం గుర్తించుకోవాలి.
అది చాలా తక్కువ కామం అన్నమాట. చాలా తక్కువ కామం ఉన్నప్పుడు ఆ స్టేజ్ లో ఉంటాం మనం. అంటే కామం చాలా ఎక్కువ లేదు, కొంచెమే ఉంది. Then we can compare ourselves to that situation.
Yes.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol. I'm very happy. Beautiful answer. Amazing. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So the second one was what? Second one was the analogy of dust and mirror. So Banu Prabhu, Hare Krishna, you want to try to explain dust and mirror? Or Yogesh Prabhu, can you explain dust and mirror?
Yeah, Prabhuji, sorry. I was trying to mute.
Yeah. Go ahead, Banu Prabhu.
So, Prabhuji, what I understand there is, manakuna ignorance or your mode of consciousness, right? Your ignorance or passion or goodness, right? Your dust on a mirror is basically revealing your mode of goodness. You're almost very close to, in a passion, with a removal of just a layer of dust, like on a mirror, you are stepping closer to mode of goodness. And that is one step closer to your consciousness.
Yes. So being dust, you can at least remove that dust. It is still removable by following certain spiritual process. Right? So that is level of consciousness given. Okay.
And it can be only done by satsang and good associations.
Yes. When you start, there is a possibility of you removing the dust and going ahead. Right? Yeah. So next one, Yogesh Prabhu, do you want to try the embryo?
This situation is.
Sorry, you can unmute yourself, Prabhuji. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So Prabhuji, this situation is like a helpless situation where you just can't help yourself. It's like you are embryo inside a womb where you cannot approach to that Krishna consciousness situation at all.
Like completely stuck. That is a heavy, thick layer of lust. Right? The embryo is a heavy, thick layer of lust, little thin layer of lust when it comes to dust, and very, very thin layer of lust when it comes to fire and wood. So Prabhuji and Mataji, we have to evaluate at what level am I? At what level am I? Don't think that only trees like that. Even human beings who are completely rejecting satsang, मेरा नहीं जाना मुझे सत्संग को, मुझे नहीं मालूम करना, मुझे नहीं सीखना भगवत गीता, I don't want to learn. What will you compare them to? Embryo inside the womb. You can't do anything. Right? But there are some people who will come once, or they may choose to come once, or they are favorable. They are favorable, but they'll think to come. They fall into the dust and mirror. That someday, they can clean themselves and come, because they're still in touch. They know what's going on where. And better than that are people who are coming and slowly fanning the spark to become fire. Is we in the satsang. Lust is there. If lust is not there, we will not be in this material world. Even now, every single person is satsang has lust, right, in different layers. But we have started cleaning it. The process has started. Did you all understand, Prabhuji and Matajis?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So many places Lord Krishna gives analogies and examples also. If you go in future, in further chapters, many beautiful analogies Lord Krishna will give, right? Like one of the analogy he gives is tortoise pulling out its limbs and pulling inside its limbs. So Krishna says a yogi is like a tortoise. A tortoise, whenever it wants to use its wings, it will keep it outside. And whenever it sees any threat, it will pull it inside. Same way, yogi also, he also has senses, but the senses are in his control. Whenever he wants to use his senses for service of God, he'll open the wings. Whenever he doesn't want to use those limbs outside, he'll pull himself inside. Right? He tries to keep his senses in control. So this analogy is given by Krishna. There is a South Indian temple, I forgot, one devotee told me, is that you see two tortoise murtis, the carved tortoises, two tortoises, one in the temple, one outside the temple. Inside the temple, the tortoise, all limbs are outside, and it is nicely looking at God inside the temple, right? Same tortoise murti outside, all the limbs are inside and its face is also inside. What does it mean?
When you are with God, everything is protected. And you can be fearless.
And you can use your senses.
Yeah, you can use it.
All your senses, your eyes, your nose, your skin, your ears, everything, use it fully. When you are with God, use it fully. Don't go to temple and keep your ears shut. Right? Don't keep your eyes shut. Arey Baba, this is the time to use it. See God's murti, eat God's prasadam, smell the tulsi leaves, smell the fragrance coming from God, right? Touch the devotees, hug the devotees, everything, all the senses you can use when you are inside temple. When you're outside temple, when you're going to office, pull your senses inside. Because now the senses, if they remain outside, they're very vulnerable for getting polluted. So you'll only use how much is needed. That's what it means. I need to do my work, this much sense is needed. That's it. Then I come home, I slowly take out the senses and go to temple completely. And then I use it in service of God. Did everybody understand this analogy?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. This
Yes,
analogy
Prabhuji.
will come in 5th chapter, if I'm right. Lord Krishna, remind me when it comes. Okay, so there are many analogies through which Krishna explains such things. Please repeat after me. 3.39. Avrutam jnanam etena. Hare Krishna, you can unmute and repeat after me. Everybody, please, everybody repeat it. Avrutam jnanam etena. Avrutam jnanam etena. Jnanino nitya vairina. Jnanino nitya vairina. Kamarupena kaunteya. Kamarupena kaunteya. Duspurena alena cha. Duspurena analena cha. Yes. Please repeat after me. Thus the wise living entities,
Thus the wise living entity,
pure consciousness,
becomes
covered by his eternal enemy
becomes covered by his eternal enemy
in the form of lust,
in the form of lust,
which is never satisfied
Never satisfied.
never satisfied,
and which burns like fire.
and which burns like fire.
Right? So here it is being told, Provision Matajis, you can mute yourself. 1 second. I'll mute everyone. Yeah. So here, what Lord Krishna is telling, that even the wise living entity, pure, soul is pure, part of Krishna, but it can get covered by a layer of lust. Right? It's eternal enemy. And then, which is never satisfied, burns like fire. Lust will never be satisfied, it burns like fire. The more you add anything, more it will burn. Right? Thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by the eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied, which burns like fire. Exactly. Right? So let's read the purport here. Please underline the entire purport, a very important purport. It is said in the Manusmriti that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment, just as fire is never extinguished by a constant supply of fuel. In the material world, the center of all activities is sex. And thus, this material world is called Maithunya Agara. Maithunya Agara, or the shackles of sex life. Maithunya, Maithunya means procreation. Yeah. Or the shackles of sex life. In the ordinary ordinary prison house, criminals are kept within bars. Similarly, the criminals who are disobedient to the laws of the Lord are shackled by sex life. Advancement of material civilization on the basis of sense gratification means increase the duration of the material existence of a living entity. Therefore, this lust is a symbol of the ignorance by which the living entity is kept within the material world. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually that so-called feeling of happiness is ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. Right? Prabhupada is writing very clearly, the center of all this sense gratification, right, is lust. You want to enjoy for yourself. So what are those shackles that keep you attached to this material world? What is the heaviest form of Maya? Attraction to sex life. That is the ultimate. Nobody can break that. Nobody can break that. The attraction to the opposite sex. As soon as you see a male looks at a female looks at a male. Khatam. There is no discussion. Don't think that attraction is coming from some kind of Maya. It is attraction created by Maya Devi, who is assisting Krishna. So that is the reason, Provision Mataji, right from the childhood, in our culture, in Vedic Sanatan culture, male and female are always respectfully kept in distance. You don't want to experiment on things. You know why? What is there to experiment? You want to bring butter and fire at one place? Huh? What will happen if fire and butter will come at one place? Tell me. Kya hoga? Huh? Fire will become cold. Will butter melt? Will butter melt or no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Do you want to conduct that experiment? You want to go to the kitchen and conduct that experiment?
No, Prabhu.
Or will you argue that, no, Prabhuji, your butter will melt, my butter will not melt. That's called idiocracy. Right? That's called idiocracy. Whether the fire is coming from a stove, or whether the fire is coming from a lighter, whether the fire is coming from, I don't know, from wherever there is butter, the butter will melt. And whether the butter is made of cow milk, or a butter is made of buffalo milk, or donkey milk, the butter will melt. There is no experiment needed for this. How many agree with this? So, Prabhuji and Matajis, be careful. Be careful. Because if you get into any relationship, knowingly, unknowingly, it will ruin your life. outside married life is very dangerous. And that is what is prominent in Kali Yuga. Prominent in Kali Yuga. Right? Illicit sex is very much prominent in Kali Yuga. Don't experiment with it. For that matter, even between devotees. Now, I might look like a very closed-minded fellow, but I'm telling you very, very clearly. If a Prabhuji is not in home, no Prabhuji has any other business to go and sit in that house. Simple. Right? You want to speak to a Mataji for a service. Speak about the service, keep the phone down. इनका एटला उन्नारो और सब ठीक है क्या सब चलता है क्या कर रहे हो? Why do you need all that discussion? No need of. You are, let us be, don't speak to a Mataji without her Prabhuji beside her, unless it's specific to a service for a certain period of time. Now I might really sound narrow-minded. Am I sounding? I'm sounding because I believe in the purpose of Prabhupada. I believe in Bhagavad Gita. Bhaiya, I don't want to experiment between fire and butter. I don't want to experiment. In our culture, a father doesn't sleep beside a grown-up daughter. It's there. A father doesn't sleep beside a grown-up daughter. It's not allowed. Not allowed. Forget about my daughter is advanced, I am modern. Nonsense that is. An elder son doesn't sleep beside a mother. No, it is not allowed. Why? Because fire and butter exists. I'm not telling bad things. I'm telling you, I'm warning you. Especially Prabhuji and Matajis, when we are in satsang also. How we behave with other Matajis, how Prabhujis behave with other Matajis, Matajis behave with other Prabhujis. Please be vigilant, right? We have to keep that sacredness. We have to keep that sacredness of a temple inside the satsang. How we behave in temple, Lord is in the center. In the satsang, that is how we should be. Right? This my Siksha Guru told me. When he told me, I was like, oh my God, why are you telling me all this? Now I know this is what will happen. Now you will put a burqa also. No, we don't need to put a burqa. We are not that. We are not gone to that situation where burqa has to be kept. Right? In Arab countries, you know why burqa is kept, Prabhuji and Matajis? How the burqa culture came?
There was no relation maintained, Prabhuji. So for them, it's like a man and a woman. That's it.
That's it.
So in order to really that, yeah.
It went to such an extent that they started killing each other for lust. As soon as they see a beautiful woman, 4 men will go like dogs. And they will even kill her or kill themselves. They had no other choice but to put a burqa. That is why Quran is a scripture like that. You know, people in Islam, there is no court. If you go and touch somebody else's wife, immediately your hand is cut. In the street, your hand is cut. No going to police station, no going to court, and no justice system. Because that is what those people understand. But we in India come from Sanatana culture background. We already are trained, or let me put it like this, supposed to be trained. We are at least supposed to be trained to not get into such activities. Why? Because spirituality needs you to think that you are the soul, not the body. Simple. You are the soul, not the body. So why should we perform activities which will increase our bodily consciousness? If you wear a very attractive dress, I'm asking a simple question. If you wear a very attractive dress and you go outside your flat, will you be more conscious or no? Who is looking at me? Are they okay with what I'm wearing? Yes or no? If you simply wear a sari or a office dress for a Prabhuji or a dhoti kurta, will you be so conscious? You will not be that conscious. I'm just wearing whatever I'm wearing, isn't it?
Yes.
When you do things to get others' attention, when you do things to get others' attention, what is it called? It's not any good word to call out, right? When you do things to attract others, for even the intention is not that, but that's what you're doing. You're wearing things to attract others. Means what? You're looking for a partner, or you want other partners to look at you. Why do you want to do all that? Just be simple. And when you want to practice spiritual life, especially practice spiritual life, you should be very careful about how you act between people, with other people, Matajis, Prabhujis. When you say Mataji, actually a Mataji, you should literally see your mother. She is my mother. She is my mother. And Prabhuji, he is my master. You know, he's like a guru, and I am respectfully keeping my distance. You should think like that. Then that will help you in your Krishna consciousness. Whereas in the name of devotion, you know, people come to satsang sometimes and misbehave. It has happened. And not here, but many places it has happened. I had to specifically make people sit down and say, what are you doing here? What is your intention? Right? Even unmarried girl and unmarried boy comes, doesn't mean it's a license for them to mingle or license for them to start a relationship. No. You're interested, go speak to your parents, you go speak to your parents. There are marriages which have happened in Satsang, Prabhuji, and I personally could arrange that also, but not a license to mingle around, right? So message is very clear by Lord Krishna that lust is our greatest what? Friend or enemy?
Enemy.
Enemy, right? So we should be very, very clear on that. Yeah. Religion is not narrow-minded. Our goal is very specific. That's the reason everything looks like narrow-minded. Our goal is to go back to Krishna. To go back to Krishna, my spiritual consciousness should be awakened. For my spiritual consciousness to be awakened, my bodily consciousness should decrease. For my bodily consciousness to decrease, my attraction towards bodily things should be regulated. Simple. That if I regulate, everything is fine. Yeah. 3.40. Indriyanu manobuddhir.
Indriyani manobuddhir.
Indriyani manobuddhir.
Indriyani manobuddhir.
Asya adhishthanam uchyate.
Asya adhishthanam uchyate.
Asya adhishthanam uchyate.
Asya adhishthanam uchyate.
Eter vimohyati esha.
Eter vimohyati esha.
Eter vimohyati esha. Jnanam avritya dehinam.
Jnanam avritya dehinam.
Jnanam avritya dehinam. Please, this is a very important verse, Provision Mataji. We are almost concluding the Karma Yoga chapter. Please repeat the translation after me. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting place of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge.
The lust
covers the real knowledge
of the living entity. And bewilders him. Right? So Prabhuji, Lord Krishna is very clearly telling. Lord Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. So this cannot be untrue. Okay? What is he saying? There are three places our lust is sitting. The propensity to enjoy is sitting in three places. What are those three places? The senses, the mind, the intelligence. Right? And this is where it attacks. This place only it attacks. And we will completely be bewildered. You know, that how come you'll be thinking, and this is how it attack. Right? Now you tell me, how does this work? Right? So lust is sitting in your senses. As soon as your senses will see a sense object, it is attracted. Okay? This is the simplest one, right? For example, I like to see beautiful things. As soon as I see something beautiful, immediately my eye is attracted to that beauty. Is that true?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I like to eat sweet. As soon as I see a gulab jamun, I am attracted. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? I like to hear Kishore Kumar music. As soon as mere sapno ki, immediately attracted. Is it true?
Yes.
There is no experiment needed for this, right?
Yes.
So where is lust sitting? In your senses. When your senses approach the sense objects, automatically they are attracted. Right? So lust is sitting in the senses. Number one. So what we should do, Prabhuji and Mataji, let us fix one by one as we discuss also. Right? I'll not discuss all the three at once. So senses, mind, and intelligence. So we are discussing senses. How do you control your senses? What do you do?
So just like the tortoise, we have to.
Yeah, but how does it do? How does it do? Practically, how does it do? Tortoise pulls out its senses inside, but what does it mean?
Concentrating your thought around Krishna or God.
That is intelligence. Concentration thinking means intelligence.
No,
Right? I'm not talking about intelligence. Senses
senses
itself are there. Senses itself are there. Okay, and you have to control them. How will you control?
So we have to make our senses taste the higher taste, Prabhuji.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
We have to make the senses taste the higher taste.
We have to engage our senses in the right activity. In the right activity. We have to engage our senses. See, senses cannot be kept quiet. I'm not saying you come out of your flat and go like this. What is that? Like a teen bandar. You can't go, you can't walk around in corridors like that, right? People will think you're a fool or what? Right? No, we don't do that. We engage our senses in the service of the Supreme Lord. Right? So when we want to eat something, we offer it to Krishna and we eat it. Prashadam will eat. When we want to see something, we try to tell that, this is not good for me. And I'll try to get more attracted to seeing devotees houses, devotees deities, right? I'll have such a beautiful deity of Radha and Krishna in my house, or Jagannath Baldev in my house. I'm going on decorating the deity so much that I get attracted to it. All my attraction to see is satisfied. Hai. So we can practice it. It's possible. See, when you go for shopping outside, now you want to see, you're thinking about your clothes. But when you have a deity in your house, when you have a Laddu Gopal, or when you have a Radha Krishna, or when you have Jagannath Baldev Subhadra or Nitai Gauranga in your house, you will go to a shop and you'll start thinking, will this sari color suit to Radharani? Will this attractive cloth, can I wear it as a dhoti to Gaur Nitai? Right? Like that you'll start thinking. So basically you employ your senses in service of the master of the senses. Hrishikena, Hrishikesha, Sevanam. Hrishikena means senses. Hrishikesha means master of the senses. Sevanam. Right? Hrishikena, Hrishikesha, Sevanam. I will employ my senses in the service of the master of the senses. That is called bhakti. Bhakti ruchyate. Okay, understood? Huh? So lust is in senses and I satisfy that. Okay. Next, where else does the lust sit, Prabhuji and Matajis? Mind. Mind is filled with desires. Desires. Okay. So how do I control the mind? By increasing the desires of Krishna. You can't remove the material desires, but I'll increase the next desire. Okay. Prabhujis and Matajis, did we desire to have Rath Yatra last year?
Yes,
Are we having desire to do it this year?
Sure.
Very much, Prabhuji.
Rath kidhar hai? Kidhar hai Rath? So develop the desire. As soon as you develop the desire, you will start working on it. You will start running around for that. You'll start buying things, collecting donations, and nobody can touch you in the next 2 months. No other feeling will touch you. Your mind is completely engaged in fulfilling that desire. And that desire of your mind is bhakti. Okay? That is how you control your mind. You control your mind how? By replacing materialistic desire with spiritual desires. Okay, na?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Third is what? Where else does the lust sit?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Intelligence and I know. Naaku telusu. I know syndrome. I know syndrome is a very popular syndrome. Everybody thinks that he knows, but he doesn't know anything. Right? So that is where lust sits. And it says that, I know, I will enjoy. I know, it's okay to enjoy. I know, It's very good to enjoy. That is what it's telling. But how do you correct that intelligence? How do you correct the intelligence? Come on, we are doing it right now.
Going to satsangs.
Jnana.
Jnana, gaining more knowledge.
Gaining more knowledge. Intelligence needs knowledge. Right? When you get knowledge, your intelligence will increase and then you'll automatically control. Is that true? So lust is sitting in senses, lust is sitting in mind, lust is sitting in intelligence. So Prajan, I'll ask somebody else who I did not ask now. So Hema Mataji, how do you control senses? Lust in senses.
Sorry, how do you control?
How do you control the lust in senses?
By serving.
Sorry?
By serving Prabhu, engaging in service.
By engaging your senses, by engaging your senses in service of Krishna.
Yeah, cooking prasadam.
Okay, that is how you control your senses. Okay. Now, lust is there in second one, what? Mind, right? So Tulsi Mataji, how do you control mind? How do you control the lust in mind?
By hearing and reading books.
By?
By hearing Krishna Katha and practicing the spirituality.
No, but how do you control the mind? Mind is filled with what?
Lust, desires.
Desires, right? So how do you control the lust of mind? By replacing the desires with spiritual desires. Right? By adding more spiritual desires into the mind. Right? See, for example, there is, you know, in the water, somebody put some ink. Right? There is some water and somebody put three drops of ink. It became bluish. How do you make that bluish water into whitish again?
Adding more water.
Adding more water. And let the old water go outside and the new water come inside, it will become white. In the same way, mind is filled with that ink of bad desires. What do? You put right desires. You put good desires. You can't remove the bad desires, but you can add more good desires. Is that true? And
yes,
keep adding so much that the bad desire automatically run away. See, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, earlier, my Sunday was what? My Sunday was earlier, watch a movie, talk about the neighbor, talk about my boss, talk some bad things about some relative, or go to an unnecessary party, or go and try to tell the whole world I am the most attractive person, right? Show off my, you know, influence to the whole world. That is what was my Sunday. Now, how do I replace this? Kya karu main isko replace karne ke liye? I said, okay, I'll start chanting in the morning. 3 ghanta gaya. I'll conduct a Bhagavatam class or I'll hear a Bhagavatam class. 2 ghanta gaya. After that, I'll torture few people from my home avatar, 3 hours or 3 ghanta gaya. Afternoon, I'll talk to all devotees. My pending devotee calls, whatever calls are pending. Sunday afternoon, I'll call everybody or I'll take some rest or 3 ghanta gaya. Evening, my old friends, devotees, they'll say, Prabhuji, we'll have a weekly class. We are not meeting. Okay. Or 3 ghanta gaya. Kya bacha? What is left? Nothing. So what about my desire to glorify myself? What about my desire to speak ill about others or comment on others? Pura kidhar gaya? The desire is there, but there is no time. Time nahi hai. So kya karenge abhi? That is how you include and increase your spirituality. Day after day, you should increase spiritual activities. If you parallelly do material activities also, then there is a problem. You have to slowly decrease the material, increase the spiritual. Slowly. Right? One commitment should be increased. Okay? Okay. Next. Who else? I did not ask today. Aruna Mataji. Yeah. Aruna Mataji, how do you remove the lust from intelligence?
Yeah, by devoting yourself towards the service towards Lord, towards Krishna.
Yes. But intelligence comes from where?
Like, yeah, Knowledge, yeah, it
knowledge.
comes from your satsangs, listening to gurus,
Correct.
and
Correct.
reading the scriptures.
Exactly. So you'll increase that. When you listen to scriptures, when you listen to gurus, when you read yourself, your intelligence increases, and you can remove that lust from the intelligence.
Yeah.
So lust is in
Yeah.
three places. Once again, finally, lust is in three places: mind,
Yes.
senses, mind, and intelligence. Right? If you don't control them, they will control you. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Chalo, let's go forward. Let's hear the purport. 1 second. Yeah. The enemy has captured different strategic positions in the body of the conditioned soul. And therefore, Lord Krishna is giving hints of those places so that one who wants to conquer the enemy may know where he can find them. Mind is the center of all activities of senses. And thus, when we hear about sense objects, the mind generally becomes a reservoir of all ideas for sense gratification. And as a result, the mind and the senses become repositories of lust. Next, the intelligence department becomes the capital of such lustful propensities. Intelligence is the immediate next door neighbor of the spirit soul. Lusty intelligence influences the spirit soul to acquire the false ego and identify itself with matter, and thus with the mind and senses. The spirit soul becomes addicted to enjoying the material senses and mistakes this as true happiness. The false identification of the spirit soul is very nicely explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:84-13. Yasyatma buddhi kunapetri dhatuke swadhi kalatra dishu bhauma ihjyadi yat tirtha buddhi shalile na karhi chij Janeshve Abhignyeshu Sa Eva Gokara. A human being who identifies this body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsmen, who considers the land of birth worshipable, and who goes to the place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge, there is considered to be an ass or a cow. Right? What does it mean here? It's a very heavy statement. It's saying, if you consider this body as you, these elements are made of these 5 elements, or you consider your byproducts like your children, my children are my children. Oh, mere bacche, achhe bacche. Right? If you think like that all the time, right? Or you think that I will go to a holy place, take darshan of Venkateshwara Swami, abba, enta manchi darshanam ayindi. You are considered a ass. Why? What is the problem with taking darshan of God? Are bhaiya, darshan of eyes is important, but darshan of ears is more important. Right? You should go to a holy place not just to take darshan, but you should also go to a holy place to hear from saintly people, because that is where God is sitting. Okay? And if you see your family photograph, everybody likes to keep a family photograph. These my wife, my husband, my children, and my parent. These are mine. Means what? Bodily consciousness. You are identifying. All these are related to you as long as you are in this body, isn't it? As soon as you leave this body, will that wife consider you her husband? Gone. All relations are gone. You'll get another body. Those children are not yours anymore. That wife is not yours anymore. The husband is not yours anymore. Those parents are not yours anymore. Everybody in the world that you are relating to is only related to this body. That's it, right? So these are the most unintelligent people, as explained by Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a little heavy, but that's the truth.
Prabhuji, one small question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
In that previous one, it was compared to an ass and also a cow. Why it is mentioned as a cow there? An ass or a cow?
Yeah, cow is the being which doesn't get disturbed and which is peaceful in the way it is. That is also not the perfect consciousness, not cow as in cow. One of the aspects of cow is it is very peaceful and happy. In a way, a little ignorant also. In a way, a little ignorant also. Have you seen a cow running around here and there anytime? You'll always see it's peaceful and walking around. Right? A living entity living like that is not also not good. You should not live like a cow. Cow should live like a cow, not you.
Okay, Prabhuji.
That is that aspect of cow is told, not the whole aspect. Gomata is very intelligent. Right?
Because
But
I
that
found it somehow a little extreme. It was compared to ass and then immediately like a cow.
That aspect of being peaceful and satisfied and just going around, that is not going to help a human being. Human being has to be more active. Right? Like that.
Understood, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Please repeat after me. Tasmatvam indriyani adau.
Tasmatvam indriyani adau.
Tasmatvam indriyani adau.
Tasmatvam indriyani adau.
Nityam ya bharatar sabha.
Niyamya
Bharata Sabha.
Niyamya bharatar sabha.
Bharata Sabha.
Papmanam prajahi hi enam.
Papmanam prajahi enam.
Papmanam prajahi enam.
Papmanam prajahi enam.
Jnana vijnana nashanam.
Jnana nashanam.
Jnana vijnana nashanam. Please repeat after me. Therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning curb, this great symbol of sin or lust, by regulating the senses, and slay this destroyer of knowledge
and
and self-realization. So Lord Krishna is telling in the very beginning itself you curb it. If you allow it to grow, then you can't do anything. Just like forest fire. Right? In the beginning, the fire can be stopped. But if it expands to many trees, you can't stop it. After that, you have to run from there. You don't have to, you have to just run away. Forest fire cannot be stopped. But in the beginning, you can stop it. In the same way, Prabhuji Mataji, in the beginning means in our childhood. Unfortunately, if we are not in the childhood, at least now, we should stop it. Right? Children should be taught tolerance. Children should be taught humbleness. Children should be taught respectfulness. Children should be given education. Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaryasya. He says, from the age of 5 years, spiritual education has to be given to children. At least spiritual culture should be shown to children. If not, they don't need to understand and learn verses. At least they should accept that there is something called Bhagavad Gita and my father learns it. If that much they understand, then they will also follow it one day. And then you can destroy. But if a creeper becomes a tree, like a small plant becomes a tree, you can't bend it after that. You have to break it only. There is no other way. Right? Yeah. Please hear the purport concentratedly. Okay. The Lord advised Arjuna to regulate the senses from the very beginning so that he could curb the greatest sinful enemy, lust, which destroys the urge for self-realization and specific knowledge of the self. Jnana refers to knowledge of self as distinguished from non-self. Or in other words, knowledge that the spirit soul is not the body. Vijnana refers to the specific knowledge of the spirit soul's constitutional position and his relationship to the supreme soul. It is explained thus in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.31, Jnanam parama guvyam me yad vijnana samavyutam sa rahasyam tad angam cha grahana gaditam maya. The knowledge of the self and the supreme self is very confidential and mysterious, but such knowledge and specific realization can be understood if explained with various aspects of the Lord himself. Bhagavad Gita gives us that general and specific knowledge of the self. The living entities are part and parcels of the Lord, and therefore they are simply meant to serve the Lord. The consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. This consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. So from the very beginning of life, one has to learn this Krishna consciousness, and thereby one may become fully Krishna conscious and act accordingly. Lust is only the perverted reflection of the love of God, which is natural for every living entity. Please underline this statement. Lust is only the perverted reflection of the love of God, which is natural for every living entity. But if one is educated in Krishna consciousness from the very beginning, that natural love for God cannot deteriorate into lust. When love of God deteriorates into lust, it is very difficult to return to the normal condition. Nonetheless, Krishna consciousness is so powerful that even a late beginner can become a lover of God by following the regulative principles of devotional service. So from any stage of life, from the time of understanding its urgency, one can begin regulating the senses in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord, and turn the lust into love of God, the highest perfectional stage of human life. It's a beautiful purport, self-explanatory. Prabhupada is mainly saying that originally we all were Krishna conscious, but unfortunately we are misguided that we are not Krishna consciousness. Krishna conscious now, we are more body conscious or self-conscious. But as we increase self-realization, we'll eventually go towards Krishna consciousness. Children should be encouraged to serve God from the very young age. So the serving God is always part of their curriculum and their activities. Right? So there is much more explanation for that verse. This is the last verse, please repeat after me. Indriyani parani ahur.
Indriyani
parani ahur.
Indriyani parani ahur.
Indriyani parani ahur.
Indribhya param mana.
Indribhya param mana.
Indriyebhya param mana.
Indriyebhya param mana.
Manasastu parabuddhir.
Manasastu parabuddhir.
Manasastu parabuddhir.
Manasastu parabuddhir.
Yo buddhe paratastu sa.
Yo buddhe paratastu sa.
Yo buddhe paratastu sa.
Yo buddhe paratastu sa.
Okay. Please repeat after me. The working senses are superior to dull matter.
The working senses are superior to dull matter.
Mind is higher than the senses.
Mind is higher than the senses.
Intelligence is still higher than the mind.
Intelligence is still higher than the mind.
And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence.
And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence.
So, Provision Mataji, now please focus. As I'm going to tell you something very important. Okay, this needs a little bit of focus. When you know that you are the soul, will you perform sense gratification? No, because senses are related to body. I know that I'm the soul, right? When I forget that, and my intelligence says that I have to perform sense gratification, I'll perform sense gratification. So intelligence is one level below mind. Sorry, one level below soul. Soul is the highest. If I know that I'm the soul, if I know that I'm realized I'm the soul, I'll never come to the material world again. Simple, na? So soul is the highest. One level lesser than that is intelligence, where intelligence is saying that you are the soul, but you are also a body. Some problem is there. One level below. Mind is saying body is more important than soul, satisfy the desires of mind. And senses are saying you are the body, enjoy the senses. So the lowest is senses, higher than that is mind, higher than that is intelligence, and soul is the ultimate. You all understood, Provision Mataji? So when we understand that we are the soul, nothing can disturb us. Something is disturbing us now, that means we are not convinced that we are the soul, or we are forgetting that we are the soul. Our intelligence is not allowing us to remember that we are the soul all the time. And mind is a full baggage of desires, and it will keep telling the intelligence that please also enjoy. Yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute. 2 minutes I'll join. Just 2 minutes. I'll join in 2 minutes. Yeah. I'm just coming in 2 minutes. Yeah. Sorry, Hare Krishna. I have to go to another class. So I'm sorry about that. So basically, so one level below is mind, and lowest is senses, which are absolutely about senses only, like bodily level consciousness. Okay? Did everybody understand this, Prabhuji and Matajis?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So I humbly request everybody to read this purport yourself, right? In the interest of time, because I have to go to another class waiting for me there.
Okay.
Okay. But please read it. Promise me that you'll read it. Okay. Please read it. And yeah. So thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports. Oh, there is one more verse. Oh my God. I thought this is the last. Yeah. So there is one more verse. Yeah. Let's read this verse and read the translation. Okay. I already explained you the previous verse, 3.34. Evam buddhe param buddhva.
Evam buddheha param buddhva.
Evam buddhe param buddhva.
Evam buddhe param buddhva.
Samstabhyatmanam atmana.
Samstabhyatmanam atmana.
Samstatyatmanam atmana.
Samstabhyatmanam atmana.
Jahi shatrum mahabaho.
Jahi shatrum mahabaho.
Jahi shatrum mahabaho.
Jahi shatrum mahabaho.
Kamarupam durashadam.
Kamarupam durashadam.
Kamarupam durashadam.
Kamarupam durashadam.
Yes, translation, repeat after me. Thus knowing oneself to be transcendental.
Thus knowing oneself to be transcendental.
To the material senses.
To the material senses.
Mind and intelligence.
Mind and intelligence.
O mighty armed Arjuna.
O mighty armed Arjuna.
One should study the mind.
One should study the mind.
By deliberate spiritual intelligence.
By deliberate spiritual intelligence.
Krishna consciousness.
Krishna consciousness.
And thus. By spiritual strength.
By spiritual strength.
Conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust.
Conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust.
Right? I think it's very clear. Thus, knowing oneself to the transcendental to material senses, mind and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjuna, one should study the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji and Mataji, here Lord Krishna is concluding this chapter saying that remember that you are the soul. You are transcendental to mind, intelligence, and senses. You are above it. So automatically, when you, and how will you remember that you are the soul? When you keep performing soul relevant activities. What is that one soul relevant activity you do in every week? What is that soul relevant activity?
Attending satsangs.
Attending satsangs. Attending satsangs, reading Bhagavad Gita. Reading Bhagavad Gita every day. You all have to read it every day, some part of your day. And chanting your rounds every day is very important. When we do these activities, we are spiritually conscious and we can easily remain in spiritual consciousness, and none of this mind, intelligence, and lust can trouble us. Okay, na? Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji and Matajis. Thus we ended the Karma Yoga, the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Next week, we will start the 4th chapter by God's grace. Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji and Matajis, we will not be able to sing Narsingharati today, but I just offer my pranam. Sorry, Prabhuji, next week we'll do it, Prabhuji. I only asked your sons to, sing it today, but I'm kind of in a little bit of rush. I have to go there. I forgot that I had a class at 1 o'clock. So please forgive me.
No problem, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So, Lakshmi Narasimha Swami Prahlad Maharaj ki.
Jai.
K.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Sai Gaura Hari Premanande. Hari Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.